This is another piece by piece video. This video is around this piece, the Crossroads. This is a two-dimensional piece. It is on a piece of board and it is acrylic, wood burning, and ink wash. I purposefully left a lot of the wood grain showing through. The sky is the ink wash, and then the landscape is the wood burning, and so is the human figure, and the shadow is wood burning. And then the road and some of these hills and the sun itself is the acrylic. This piece is done on a recycled board that actually is the packaging material for a cappuccino machine. Or, well, maybe it's an espresso machine. I don't know. It was one of the coffee machines that came into a coffee shop where I was working at the summer I did it. And this piece is one of my core works on the feeling of hitting a crossroads in life. I very intentionally did the crossroads so as to not demonstrate the choice between the broad and curving, or narrow and straight, or high or low. This is just one of those choices where you don't really know where the end will take you. And I think it's a very universal human emotion to reach that point where you have to commit to a decision and you're not really sure where you'll end up. So that was what I wanted to illustrate. I was really happy with the sun in this. I did a heightened contrast between a cobalt blue and some oranges. A lot of times I use a deep red tone, and I do like to do that, but I wanted to see what I could do without it. And I wanted it to just be more mellow. And I thought sticking with the oranges and the cobalt blue as opposed to like a more navy blue or an ultramarine was nice. It was a nice change for me. I did a technique on this board for the framing, which is, this is a piece of leather, and I drilled holes in 6 places and strung it that way. I was kind of experimenting with that in 2018, early 2019. I thought maybe that was a way I was gonna go, and I've actually moved away from that now, but I don't hate it for this work, so I'm leaving it. I'm not gonna try and redo it. In this work, I left a lot of line work in the background, which is not something I normally do, but I might move into doing it more. I wanted to represent thinking, and I wanted to represent kind of this impression of measurement and calculation in a really subtle way. And so there's line work that I used in how I was going to represent the sun, and I allowed that to stay in the background. I purposefully put this sun about a third where the center point is. I like to work with some of those classical proportions, the thirds and the halves and all of that Fibonacci sequence stuff, but I like to do it not too intensely and not 100%, so it's finding that nice balance between order and chaos. My suns are based on Hubble telescope pictures and then also historic rose compasses. And I work with suns and celestial bodies in general a lot. And I think the way they've been portrayed through history and the way we use them symbolically and physically correlating so intensely is a wonderful feature of them, because stars are like the first human tool that we really use to navigate. And then also, like, there's the metaphor of enlightening and looking up to something and that higher power reasoning. So I just really like that correlation. Yeah. And so this is the Crossroads piece. Trying to think if there's anything else I should say about it. I'm really happy with the shadow on this piece. I really like to incorporate shadows and show the presence of the individual and their effect on the landscape. So that was one of the things that made me really glad with this work. So this is the Crossroads piece. I hope you enjoyed it.